Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to JP Broadcasting and welcome back to Triple Bypass here for round number 5 of this season's Triple Bypass series of the NicholsOilPros.com series at Worldwide Tech. This round sponsored by Grant Parker and Parker's Fried Bologna 110. This is going to be a massive round of oval action here in the next gen NASCARs. I'm your commentator here this evening, Hamish Munro, joined as always by Jim Cunningham. Jim, we find ourselves just situated across the Mississippi, not too far away from St. Louis, Missouri, in the wonderful land of Illinois, pretty much as far away as you could get from Chicago in the southwest of Illinois. It's going to be phenomenal stuff tonight and some phenomenal racing too.
Good to have you here, by the way. Nichols and I have done this.
It's fine.
Doing some other
you've
work.
You've traded an Australian for another Australian. I get it. You have to keep it consistent. You know. Just hope that the regular fans just kind of don't realize that it's not actually Biggles and that it is somebody else, even though we probably sound very similar. But let's chat about last week, the previous round, Jim. Because
let's go ahead and show the recap video. They do a beautiful recap video.
Oh, love that.
From Auto Club.
On January 26, 2025, Auto Club Speedway set the stage for an electrifying triple bypass Nichols Oil Pros Series race. The season-high 37 car field produced 9 different leaders, 13 lead changes, and 3 cautions that slowed the field for just 9 laps as they navigated restarts on the fast and wide 2-mile track. The race was sponsored by John Creedler and streamed live by our friends at JP Broadcasting. It was the Nichols Oil Pros 90 at Auto Club. Davey Hendricks in car 67 delivered a stunning performance, charging from a 34th starting position to claim a well-earned victory. Hendricks showcased incredible speed, setting the fastest lap of the race at 39.9 seconds on lap 12. Leading 40 laps, Hendricks handled his car brilliantly through the cautions and restarts, capitalizing on every opportunity to secure the top spot. Jared Jackson, driving the 51, had a strong run, finishing in second place just 2.6 seconds behind Hendricks. Jackson kept his composure during the cautions and demonstrated consistent pace with a best lap of 40 seconds on lap 45. Sean Bradley, in car 77, rounded out the podium, finishing 2.8 seconds behind. Bradley's fastest lap, clocked at 40 seconds on lap 49, showcased his determination to stay in the hunt for a top finish. Matthew Harmon delivered an impressive performance, climbing from 13th to finish 4th, just missing the podium, and Brad Kress rounded out the top 5. Kress held his own through the chaos of the cautions to secure a solid finish. The 3 cautions added an extra layer of intensity to the race as drivers had to adjust their strategies and take advantage of the restarts. These moments created opportunities for some and challenges for others, but they didn't stop Hendricks from dominating the race when it mattered most. We hope you enjoyed this thrilling triple bypass Nichols Oil Pro Series recap. We'll see you next time.
Well, Jim, we were talking off mics for a second there as qualifying has already now come to an end, so they're going to start their warm-up lap just shortly. I am taken aback by how passionate Triple Bypass obviously is. I have never had a video race recap of the previous round before on a stream, and it is quite refreshing to have that. That was really, really cool.
These guys do an amazing job.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I have the grid up here shortly.
Yep. Yep, they've finished up their qualifying. They'll start their roll around lap in just a moment behind the pace car. A starting grid for tonight's race is as follows. Matt Pericini will start on pole position alongside John Creedler on the front row, with Tyler Merritt and Timothy O'Connor lining up in behind them. Jared Jackson and Brian Dickens will then line up on the third row, with Steve McClendon and Brad Kress making up your top 8. Jeff Slaughter and Jason Benson will make up your top 10. Jace not currently on the grid just yet. He has just joined as I say that, though, with Sean Bradley and Will Emmerich just in behind them. John Crutchley and Matt Harmon will then start in behind, with Mike Weeder and Kyle Dewey for your top 16. Ty Bass and Morris Bogan will start then for your top 18, with Mark Herzog and Tyler Rulis on your top 20. Tex Nichols, Davey Hendricks will then be your top 22, with Bradley Dalton and Benito Chavez making up your grid here this evening for Triple Bypass. The gridding has begun, Jim. Let's check out these beautiful cars on the wonderful TV cams at this circuit, because, well, this is, this place, it's a very odd style of oval. It's a bit like a hair clip a little bit, tighter at one end, thinner at the other, or thin at one end, a bit wider at the other. Can really offer up some good challenges to these drivers here this evening.
Yeah, it is an interesting shaped track. Definitely much narrower and together, with certainly going to send its own share of setup issues handling cars tonight.
And how can that actually throw a challenge to the drivers as well? Because obviously with a regular tri-oval or a four-cornered oval, the corners are actually pretty similar. With this one, at either end of the track, you've got different challenges. One's tighter, one's a bit wider. You might have to take one faster or slower. How is this actually going to affect these drivers tonight in these next-gen cars? And how do you think they could probably best handle it when they're actually having to drive around here for 110 laps?
So oddly different on the end like that. Kind of got to set it up for something. In one turn, it's going to probably much tighter, or as they say, push in the turns. We've got
We are indeed. Barney will be out with the flag as Pericini and Creedler will be on the front row. Green flag racing at Worldwide Tech Center for 110 laps of Triple Bypass as they enter turn number 1 for the very first time. Finding which lane is the best is what they have to figure out around this track as they fight amongst themselves. 24 cars on the road tonight, Jim. We didn't really get a chance to speak about it too much, but as they get going into this thing, do we think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for cautions? I mean, oval racing, it almost seems like there's always going to be a caution at some point. But how likely do you think we are to get those cautions happening tonight?
well, there's certainly going to be some, I'm sure, but guys are pretty well known for running clean. They're a great Discord group, friends, look out for each other, and they race that way. A lot of racing out there too.
And of course, with that 2-lane kind of tactic of fighting, of deciding do you want to go the low line or the high line, and trying to get that side draft off these cars as well, it's really only going to work when they're tightly contested. With the front two of Pericini and Merritt, they're starting to run away from Jackson and McClendon in behind. Some of these other drivers may need to start working together, get a nice little slipstream train going, and just try and catch up to these leaders before they start to run away with things. But there is that little caveat of when the yellow gets thrown and the caution's brought out and the pace cars on track, because any gap that these guys have got will be chewed up in an absolute heartbeat, as we've already got our first one for the race. Yellow flag already. And I think it might be Benito Chavez and Morris Bogan here having a moment. So what's happened? Oh, so one of them has lost it slightly on the road, then backwards as well.
And there were several of them spun around there.
I think it might have been Morris possibly who actually was the one who copped the incident. Here we are with him in the 36. Oh, so the car just ahead of him got a bit loose.
Yeah.
And then both of them into the wall. So we've already got our first caution. We didn't even really get to give our over-unders for this race. Tyler Rulis in the chat, who is racing, said 3 to 4 yellows.
Going with at least one.
Well, it seems like a guarantee at the moment, Jim, I'll be honest. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to give them no benefit of the doubt. I think we're going to have 5 yellows if we've already had it in the first couple of laps. I predict 5 in this 110-lap race here this evening. Piracini already into the pit lane, it seems. Just make sure we're back on live as well, Jim, off the back of that incident. So Piracini into the lane. Merritt now will take the lead. So he should actually lead them off this caution if he doesn't come into the pit lane with Jackson and McClendon in behind. Piracini, though, did well off that start. He managed to get away nice and clean. Merritt was happy just to hang with him, and they kept themselves out of trouble early on.
Yeah, and something I want to tell you about Tyler Merritt. He stayed out. He's driving the Mustang out there earlier. They call Tyler thumbsticks because he drives with thumb control.
He's on a gamepad.
Yes, he's a thumb. That's why they call him thumbstick. Nickname, and he's fast.
I don't know what is more concerning, the fact that he's not bought a steering wheel yet, or the fact that he's at a 4.6 I rating on a gamepad. I mean, that is.
No, he's fast.
Not that ovals are by any means easy. There's a lot of little nuances to ovals, although you are turning left on ovals majority of the time. I want to see how he does on a circuit with a gamepad, because I've tried it. It's not easy. Like that, going left and right is not an easy going. One of the worst things I've found is actually trying to get under brakes on a gamepad. You just do not have the feel for brakes at all. That's insane. It's insane that he is so good on a gamepad of all things. Like, that is incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I've been blown away by it. Yeah, he's quick.
He goes great on road courses. Oh my God, Tyler Merritt. I mean, I want to see. I mean, I suppose maybe it's to do with the NASCAR itself. I suppose certain cars are harder than others to drive on a road course. Not that I had to buy the next gen car today. I've never driven the next gen car, so I don't actually know how difficult it is to drive. But I do know that it can be quite a contentious car between the oval community. A lot of people prefer the Xfinity car. Some people do still love the next gen car as well. And throughout the cautions this evening as well, we will drag drivers in and have chats to them throughout this race as well. We'll also chat to the sponsor of tonight's race as well if he is around and available. But, this is to go so short and so far with a caution. We're 6 laps in and we've got a green flag and just waiting for Merritt to decide when he wants to go. He punches the throttle on the 38 Mustang and gets away from Jared Jackson off the restart of this race. So we're back under green flag conditions now, Jim. And it pretty much then becomes, well, how long do we go before our next caution in this race? Really breaking up that rhythm of things. That's the kind of issues we get with cautions in oval racing, or even in regular racing. You get into that rhythm, you get into your groove, and you start to then get into the feel of the car. And cautions can then all of a sudden completely reset your mindset and can actually then halter your race quite a fair bit in terms of your mentality of how you're racing.
Yes, well, they always say cautions, but I think that these guys are pretty well versed in racing with each other, and I don't know a lot of that.
I think I'm just maybe I'm just a little bit, well, to pardon the pun, cautious about how many cautions we may have. Maybe I'm a bit overzealous on how many we'll have too. I know how hectic oval racing can be. I race street stocks on oval and ARCA as well. That is an absolute, that's a grand old time in Class D ARCA racing.
Yes, yeah. I mean, look, I'm going to go with 4. I do know these guys, and this track is big enough probably not to cause a giant bunch of problems.
Yeah. It's not like Talladega or Daytona, where you're almost guaranteed to have an absolute massive moment. As I've just seen Morris in the background. He's still having some issues back there, Jim, unfortunately. He's found himself off track once again. Yeah. Not having a good old time, but Tyler Merritt, he is having a grand old time on that game. I wonder what kind of gamepad he uses. If he uses a PS5 controller or an Xbox controller or something else as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Trying to. He's struggling. Seems like the car's just fighting it.
Yep. I've just checked his. Oh, he's on an Xbox controller. Very good. I've just checked the stream levels as well, Jim. We just need to turn your microphone up just a touch once again.
Yep.
Still just a little bit low. But apart from that, we're having a great old time. Stream looks great. We're in the chat as Slaughter's off the road in the background too, but at the front, Merritt getting passed by once again Pericini, who's actually gone a lap down after coming into the pit lane. So he's having to fight back his way through the field now. He's got back ahead of the leader, but now he has to try and traverse his whole way around this circuit to get back up to him to fight for the lead. But with Merritt right in his slipstream, he's not going to get away very quickly without McClendon making it a bit easier for him.
But the good news is, I can see. The good news about Pericini, if he falls a lap down right there, it'll only he'll still be the first car a lap down, and if we do get another caution flag, he would be first car a lap down, which would get his lap back and join back at the. Okay. So it's not the end of the world. Plus, the car was fast tonight. I'm not exactly sure got him a lap down. I know he pitted, but a lot of other people. Something obviously happened that got him to lap down. But my guess is the car's fast, so he's probably going to be.
Yeah, I think he should be. The one point of problem though that he needs to worry about is if Morris also gets lapped, who's a little bit further up the road.
Yes.
So he does not want Morris to get lapped, and he wants to be the only one who is lapped. If he were to get passed by Tyler.
At least he wants to be ahead of more if it does happen.
Yes, exactly. Which he's already proved he's got pace to do so. He started on pole position, so
right.
And he's breaking away from the leader, and he's also chasing down Morris as well. So Matt is proving that pace that he's already got going at this stage. McClendon, though, using the slipstream to his advantage, sticking with Merritt. One thing I think is actually quite cool to see, the top three cars, all three different car types in the top three, Mustang, Camaro, and the Camry as well. And to go even further on that point, the top six, there's two of each car in the top six of the Camry, Mustang, and Camaro as well. So it shows there is actually some parity in NASCAR.
Oh, yeah. Well, these cars are, yes, and they're set up to be. Guys do. Hey, we can schedules, get setups during, dig them. They share each other setups. Stevie McClendon, right to Tyler here. Steve is at his Nichols. Calls everybody by their daddy. Yeah, Steve McClendon's. Or Steve's won a race this year already. And playing a little different strategy now. Keep himself up. Tyler ready.
Yeah, he is indeed. Apparently you're cutting in and out on stream, but you're not cutting in and out in my ear, Jim. So it's very interesting. I don't know why that's happening. Maybe just have a bit of a look into that into the background as well. But one thing I've noticed as we try and sort that out, we've got James in here with us as well. Hello, James.
Yo, good evening, gentlemen. Before I pop in, Jim, you're having a little bit of trouble with your mic there, son. You're cutting it in and out. I'll jump in while you have a look at that. Possibly it might be a noise gate under Discord. So, yeah, we've got some interesting racing going on here this evening, Hamish, and I think this could be an interesting one to see how these guys get on.
I swear, James, if you mention Martinsville once, I'm leaving.
I'm not. Look, it's not my fault. It's my biggest achievement. It's not my problem with that one. But at the end of the day, I think here this is going to be an interesting one for these guys.
I think I might have got it fixed. I started it back up again. That does it. And by the way, I don't know if you guys out there know this, but James actually won the Martinsville.
Why, Jim? Why would you start
See,
him on this?
He's the
J-
boss. The boss is here.
J-
Gotta cover
You don't
my
hear
Yeah,
butt.
me.
see,
If I call a race at Daytona, I have the self control to not mention that I won the Raw. Like, just that's just try not to bring this up too much for James as his biggest achievement.
hey, it's my only achievement in iRacing, mate. I get to enjoy it while I still can there
That's
as
fair.
well on that one. So, listen, this has been some great action taking place at the moment. We've got a couple of drivers side by side as well. Hey, with Sean Bradley having a good old go at the with Creedler, is it, on the outside of that Spotify car. But I think this is going to be a very interesting development, this racetrack. It's not your traditional circle oval like an egg-shaped one.
No,
It's kind of they've kind of gone and stuck it in a compressor and pressed it down a little bit,
Yeah,
and made it that kind of shape, tight oval.
it's kind of like someone sat on a ball and then it's kind of then pushed all the air to one side, hasn't it? Like it's really just it's squished. It's a squished tri-oval that's turned into a duo oval. But that's one of the things. It's like a normal oval or like a tri-oval. That's pretty easy to understand. You just try and hold inside line, similar turn in for each corner. This one, each end of the circuit has a completely different approach to both corners. You have to remember that as you go along the laps, obviously, and with a lot of laps, you'd get used to it very, very quickly. But you've also then got to worry about the battles that you're in, worrying about staying in the train, picking your line correctly as well. Luckily for this field, they have spread a little bit, so they're not really getting into that 2 or 3 train battle where you've got side-by-side action happening. It's more or less swapping and changing position and deciding who's going to get the slipstream for a little bit before you decide, I want to come past and see if we can drag ourselves forward.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tough here as well at the same time, because you can roughly see what each corner has got to do. They've got to make sure that they get this right and bury this every single time, because it is a tough circuit. It's not something that you could just pick up and jump on and go, right, let's going to go there. Let's not forget these machines are some beefy machines there, as Crutchley hits a wall just coming out and Chavez is tucked in right behind him. So, we've got a lot going on. And I think for the driver's point of view, they have seriously got to think what they're doing here. This is the thing. And I think I think they're going to have a very, very tough line indeed in running in this.
It's very interesting, actually. Chavez found himself having to take evasive action earlier in the race when we had our first caution, but he still managed to find his way, punching his way through the field, which I think actually proves, I think Chavez has actually been a little bit unlucky in officials. He's running a 900 I rating, but he's proven he actually has very, very good pace in this car. So I have a feeling that Chavez may actually be similar to some other drivers that I know of, where he may just get caught out sometimes in officials, but league racing, he's really finding his own. As McClendon is still trying to hang on to Merritt. He's just eked out around about a 6/10 gap, but they've got a great gap over Creedler in behind them of around about 1.6 seconds. So these two have started to work together to fight their way forward, but they have got Piracini, who's trying to run away from them and make his way back up towards the back of Bradley Dalton at the back of the regular train. But he's built himself a good little gap over those guys, over those leaders, so he's not under pressure from going a lap down at this point. The next one under pressure would be Morris, who he's actually now found his way past.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Let's not forget they're not running on a high bank circuit, right? You've got 1 and 2 is 11 degrees, 3 and 4 is 9 degrees. So there's not a lot for these guys to play with in conjunction with carrying speeds. If we can just get a little dashboard up on the right-hand corner, that'd be great, Jim, for us to be able to tell them just roughly what speeds they're getting. And I think this is the situation when, as soon as they go in, it's a big lift. They've got to try and brake drag this around the corner, coming out below 100, and then they're going to rocket these machines straight forward as well. And you saw the steering wheel input from him there, Hamish, as well. There was a lot to deal with, a lot of wiggles coping on, and he's got to do the same again. Bang, 140, back down he goes, below nearly 110. Is he just going to drop that 100? Nope. Now he's on the power again once more. So there's a lot to think about here at this circuit, and it's a very, very interesting makeup. Not one that you traditionally see every day on the calendar.
No, you don't. And I noticed then there was around about a 10 to 15 mile-per-hour difference in how they're actually having to take these corners. And you see it again, he's having to correct the car as it exits the tighter corner. He didn't have that issue on the wider run through what would be the final corner of this circuit. So he's actually able to hold a little bit more pace through this wider section, and he's not getting the wheel spin or the car wiggle off the exit as well. And look at that gain that he's just had on Merritt right as he exits the corner. So on apex, just before exit, he's managed to hook up right in behind him, and he looks to try and get inside line at the next corner as well. And he shoots it through, absolutely sends it up the inside of Merritt, and McClendon is now the leader. And look at this, the train has started to catch them as well. So all of a sudden, from a little 2-car battle at the front of the field, we've got about 7 cars who could battle for the lead.
Yeah, you can see all of them bunched up together there as well. McLennan, Merritt, Creedler, Bradley, Kress, Jackson, Dickens. This is the thing. You're not on a high draft circuit, but you can guarantee if you make a simple mistake, you're going to be in trouble. And this is where this is all going to now bunch, because every single car is going to get the drive as they go rocketing over the line down into turn 1. And it's all going to be about figuring out what lines you've got. There's a big running line on the outside there as well. There's a big miss of an apex coming in there. That right-hand Duff car there just got that completely wrong and lost a couple of places in the meantime. So still lots to play for, but it's going to be very, very tough indeed.
Do we think that, turn 2, mid-line's probably better, but turn 1, the inside line's probably the superior option at this stage? So you're kind of having to... Matt Harmon's just come in. So first, or the next proper pit stopper of this race, we saw some of them come in under caution, take that free pit stop that they got with the pace car coming out, as Morris has now gone a lap down. So if we do get another caution, he should get a lucky dog. But Matt Harmon, who's just come out of the lane, is actually now under pressure to go a lap down as well. So it'll be either one of them who could get the wave around when we get our next caution of this race.
I think that's the thing. You've got to be in it. This is why when we talk about blue flags, I'm a massive advocate of jumping out of the way straight away. But I'm also a massive advocate for the fact in NASCAR, it don't really mean nothing. Because at the end of the day, you get your lap back. You want to be that first lap down. You have to be that first lap down. And this is the thing for these guys. They need to make sure that if they are going to go a lap down by having to green flag pit stop, which is what the situation looks like at the moment, they need to make sure they're staying within an area here, Hamish. And this is the thing. They've got to stay with a pack if they can help it.
Yeah, I've noticed as well, Brad Dalton entered pit lane. He's actually now gone to the back of the field and is only just exiting the lane now as well. So that's 3 cars or nearly 3 cars who are about to go a lap down. 2 of them already a lap down in Morris Bogan and Brad Dalton. But Matt Harmon is the next one under pressure. But he would be the lucky dog at this stage if he does get lapped, because he is at the front of their train. But Piracini, who was leading the race and started this race on pole, is starting to try and fight his way forward at the moment. He's got about 9.5 seconds to catch Tex Nichols for his next car that he would hope to make an overtake on. But it's still such a long way to go. And with cautions, it is going to make his job easier, because as this field tightens up, he will be right on the back of Nichols. He'll be right on the back of the whole field. And that's when he can then strike and fight his way forward. And realistically, he's probably hoping for that in the next 20 or so laps, just so he has plenty of time to fight forward and try and find his way further up the field, as Nichols is also now entering the lane as well.
Yeah, a couple of people diving down pit lane. You can see that as well. Jim, if you just have a look at your Discord DMs for me, buddy. But McClendon, Merritt, Kress, Jackson, Bradley, Dickens, and Creedler. You can see action further taken back here. You're jostling for the inside. That's really the thing here. You're not going to want to be on that high line. You are going to want to be on that inside line if you can help it. You're going to need to be nose bumping people up. You're going to need to be sticking it in, giving it a little bit of an argy-bargy, getting your elbows out, being a little bit aggressive with it, because otherwise you're going to be doing what we're doing right now, Hamish. We're following trails and one after the other, after the other, after the other, and nobody is really making an impact on anything. And I think that's the thing for this, with this specific circuit. You've got to try and at least gain something out of it. You've got to try and at least push forward a little bit, or do something to be able to move yourselves up. Otherwise, the likes of Herzog, Bass, Hendricks, O'Connor, Chavez, they're just going to be sat where they are and they're not going to go anywhere. So look at trying to do something if you can. You've still got a long old time. You can still play with it and see, you know, how much further up you can get. But for me at the moment, I would be looking at probably trying to just edge maybe one place if you can, 2 places over a lap, just to give myself a little bit of a great opportunity to be there at the end, because you've got the man himself out. McClendon now is out in front, overtaken poor old thumbsticks there. But for Tyler Merritt, he's a fast driver, and all of these guys know this.
Yeah, they know that he's quick. Even having to use a gamepad, he is ridiculous at how quick he is on that. It still baffles me that he's able to lap so quickly. I did notice before, though, that Jackson was following Crest through the wider corner at turn 2 and actually got a little bit of washout, it seemed, because he wasn't able to hook right in behind him on the low line. Actually started to wash out towards the mid lane of that second corner, but he's able to follow him through the slower corner at turn 1. So I don't know if that may be setup dependent or he's just struggling for that turn in to try and hook onto the back of Cress's car. And actually he's under pressure now from Bradley to come past him as well up the inside, gets the job done down at turn 1. So they're swapping and changing position, but it does seem that Jackson is just struggling to hold a single lane at the moment in trying to get that slipstream the whole way around the track.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. He's trying to go forward as more people come down there. You can see them drop down early. But this is the thing. You've got to really make sure that you're doing is almost like rinse and repeat. It's almost like lap, rinse, repeat, because you have to do it at a circuit like this because of just how tough it is and how hard it actually is here. So they've got to make sure that they can get this right, stay within that first, maybe as the tires wear off, start drifting up using that second lane. They really don't want to try and be out any further than that. Marbles develop as well. We've talked about the particle models that's come into iRacing. So they've got to be really careful because that marble line is going to start coming down the track, which is going to shorten that outside double line. So it's going to be a little bit of a way up here. We've still got, what have we got at the moment? We're on lap 39 out of 110. So there's still time there for these guys to be playing with this. And you can see now McClendon has just roared out in front by 1.2 seconds.
I've had a little bit of a deep dive into some of these pit strategies because I wanted to see how long Matt Persini's original stop was, and I found the answer as to why he actually ended up having to unlap himself. He's already taken 2 stops in this race. He took the first under the safety car, and then the second on lap 7, the lap after they went green. So he's actually deliberately taken 2 stops as we get another caution. So our second caution of the race has been called. I'm unsure why we've got the caution. I haven't gotten a crash report just yet in the incident area.
Stage break.
Yeah.
No, stage break at 40.
Yep.
Stage break at 40. So Steve McClendon has wrapped up that stage win. Unfortunately, we can't have a chat with Steve because he's not in a chat room, which is a bit of. Oh, yes, he is. There he is. Let's bring him up and have a quick chat with Steve McClendon, your stage winner. Steve, welcome in, bud.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Doing pretty good after that.
Yeah, stage win, tough start, tough circuit.
Yeah, really is all fuel saving that time. Credit goes to all the guys we ran with this weekend in that Dale Earnhardt Jr. thing. We had to clutch a lot with that car, so got it figured out for this thing tonight, and I just missed pit stop.
Right. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me pop you back down, Steve, so you can concentrate. And then, yeah, we might catch you up down a bit later in Victory Lane.
All right, man. Sounds good. We'll see you all in a little bit.
Oops.
Poor old Steve. Poor
Yeah,
Steve.
one of the trials and tribulations are coming in for an interview at the same time. So he's got to go.
Just seen him have to reverse back. What a
Yeah,
shame.
bless
But
him.
the big gainer out of all of it, who's also coming at this stage, is Pericini. So he's now taken a 3rd stop in this race. I'm not sure how far down he's actually going to drop. He's already coming out of pit lane now. He's actually coming out inside the top 10. So he still did make some gains through this period of the stage ending here, James, and has now found his way back up into the top 10 as well. Jim, is there anything that's been kind of happening in the background or anything that you think that these drivers are going to have to worry about now when they return to green flag after the end of the stage?
No, I think in the tires are where track is tough on tires, and again, they're as y'all talked about earlier, they're having to brake going turns to drag the brake cars to rotate, especially later in the run as the tires get old. No, I think it's a lot of exactly that. It's managing tires and managing caution flags and coming out trying to get a strategy that's up to be decent set of fresh tires on it.
So the leaders have now been picked up by the pace car. Looking at it, Mike Weeder is the top seeded lapped car on the road, so he should be our lucky dog, if I'm correct, James.
Yeah, he should well be. He should go round and be able to get his lap back on that one. It seems that Jim has resolved his technical issues, so I'm going to bounce out and leave you two to it. Enjoy yourselves on that one, and good luck, boys. It seems like it's going to be a fun one.
Hey, before
Over,
you leave,
James.
James, did you ever tell them about the time you won?
I did, but I don't want to repeat it, Jim. Too many times on that one. Right, I'm going to bounce. Catch you all later, boys.
See you, James.
I had to do it.
No, fair enough. I've just noticed as well, Tyler Merritt's actually having some blinking issues at the front of the field. So that's maybe stick with McClendon here, just so it doesn't
Yep.
absolutely spaz out the stream a little bit. So yeah, so Tyler's dealing with a controller, but also dealing with a router issue, it seems, for Tyler. So unfortunate, but luckily for McClendon, even though he missed his pit bay, he is still on the front row. So there is some hope for him just yet, because if Tyler's internet does not hold up, he will take the lead back just by proxy at this point. But he is under pressure from those guys off restart, like Hendricks and O'Connor and Bass and Emmerich, and the fast approaching Matt Piracini, who now finds himself P7, Jim, after 3 pit stops in this race, and is on the charge back through the field.
Oh, one phenomenal thing that he has going. He has a fast car under him. That can solve a lot of problems.
Oh, we can.
Whatever, issues he was having, now back on the lap and has got that out. Yeah, he's going to be a contender here. Fast over.
So end of the first stage. We should then have the end of the second stage as of the end of lap 80, but we are under green flag conditions once again. Merritt leads them away. McClendon P2. O'Connor looks to get the low line into turn number 1. Could he sneak his way through for P2 on the road? Not quite close enough to the 151 of McClendon just yet, as we follow through the exit of turn 1, but Merritt's internet issues are absolutely plaguing him at the moment, Jim. And with closely contested racing like this, as McClendon and Merritt are coming into the lane. So change of lead for O'Connor. Merritt has had a spin inside the entry to the pit lane, but he's kept it going. We've got a caution once again, and I believe it's Brad Dalton who's off the road. Yep, and he copped a knock, did Mr. Dalton. We're under caution once again. Let's have a chat to Brad and just see how that one felt for him. Mr. Dalton, you've brought out the caution after getting knocked off the, after a self-spin going into pit lane, and then you've actually then been nicked as you've come back on the track.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Not how
That
you
was
want to
fun.
enter pit lane.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened, but it gave me a black flag there on the restart for improper passing and improper starting. And then when I went in to serve it, my brake pedal just decided to go all the way to the floor.
Well then, that's not what you want. Not at all.
That's bad.
It's not ideal.
Oh,
Not ideal. And now you're going to go a couple more laps down and pretty much out of hope of getting a lucky dog at some point in this race without making your way through the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about this before, guys. I never claimed to be the best driver, but one of my 2025 goals has been to get a little bit faster, have a little bit more fun driving, put the rig to work a little bit more. And so the guys asked me to run on Sundays, and I said, you know what, I'll do it. And very clearly my skills are not as well as they used to be.
This just sounds like you are trying. You're just. It sounds like a bit of jealousy here of the fact that James won at Martinsville and you
that's
haven't.
what it was.
So,
Yeah, no, he did.
yeah.
Probably. Bradley, this is Jim Cunningham up in the booth. And, you have been getting fat. Definitely have been. That is an unfortunate tap that happened to you.
Yeah, Jim, one of the things, we say it all the time. It's one thing to say it in the booth, and it's another thing to put it in practice on track. And one of my goals, like I said, for 2025 is just to get faster. It's just to get on track more and kind of, put my money where my mouth is. I talk all the time about how to drive, but I really need to show that I know it.
Well, you're in a fantastic group with bypass guys. I know that a lot of those guys, the fast guys, are more help you out and ups and all kinds of stuff. So you're a great place to get faster. There's some really fast guys in here. Put you back in there so you can back out there and turn this race around for yourself a little. Catch a look.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Have a good broadcast, guys. Appreciate you pulling me in.
All right,
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it. So pace car's still out there, Jim. I want to have a quick chat whilst we're under yellow.
It's yellow. No, the caution lights are off on the.
Oh, well then, very good. Good. I'm glad you told me that because I was about to drag in Matt Piracini because I wanted to see how he felt about his run through the field, but we can get that on the next one for sure if he manages to find his way at the front. But for O'Connor, it's a little bit of a opportunity now to fight his way forward. Merritt, unfortunately, internet issues. He had to come into pit lane. He's now laps down and actually out of the session, it seems. So Merritt's out of this race with those internet issues. McClendon, who missed his pit bay on those stops, all the way back down now in P14. Green flag once again. We need to go back to green here, Mr. Cunningham. Just make sure you pressed on live as we're going once again. That's all good. As O'Connor leads them away through turn one, but there's absolute biffing and barging and an absolute scramble in the mid-pack to try and make up any positions that these drivers can as they scramble down towards turn number 2 as well. But for O'Connor, he just wants to try and hold this P1 position. Maybe try and give Bass some slipstream so they can try their best to pull away from Piracini.
Yeah, and I tell you, Bass being up here in the front, he's newer driver in the States, I believe. He's learning every week. Starting to see his name up there. He consistent in week out. But I'm telling you, Matt Piracini fast. We know that he started right. He's recovered from what appeared to be things going really bad, and now he's back up to third. Pretty good cycle. He didn't stop on his last stop like a couple of guys. I think in Linden stopped.
No, he did. Piracini stopped. He stopped on lap 40.
Yeah, on 40, but they
yeah.
McClendon and those guys stopped on 45.
Oh yes, sorry. Yes.
I think that's why. I think that's why McClendon dropped back as he stopped and topped off his tank. I think probably hope that'll pay off as we go.
Well, we've got a third caution here, Jim, outside of the stage ending, and it's Jeff Slaughter, who's had a moment in the KFC machine. I don't know if this incident's going to be finger licking good, if I'm honest. Oh, thank you. Oh, it was a self spin as well.
There's a pretty good racer. I've never seen have this track must right because twice he's been around. Not common for Jeff.
No, it's not. It's not.
But he is running.
Let's head back to live. That's
running the dates for.
He is, yeah. Let's have a chat to Matt Piracini under this caution because he has found himself. I'll drag him up in just a second. I've got to try and the event details were getting in my way. Here we go. Let's drag him up and have a chat. Mr. Piracini, an interesting pit lane strategy for yourself, but now you found your way back up into P2, one away from where you qualified for this race. What's the strategy been thus far?
Well, there wasn't much strategy because I pitted early on that first caution, and I got the pace car penalty. That's what messed me up on that one. So that wasn't strategy at all. I didn't intend to do that, but we've got a really fast hot rod here. The Bojangles Chevrolet, I think we got a good chance here to get a victory. We get a couple more cautions. We should be able to do this on one more stop.
Matt, such a humble Canadian as all are, just not claiming glory whatsoever from a brilliant strategy play. Nope, it was because I got myself a penalty. Well, I love being able to chat to Canadians in broadcast booths, Matt. First of all,
hey, real quick, go back real quick.
Yeah.
Matt, I thought you weren't going to be racing anymore, Matt, and here you are a week later. You're back out here.
Well, we have a league member by the name of Dominic Zanobi that's been talking a lot of smack in the Discord.
Oh.
And I finally said enough is enough. And I am coming back. I am taking a playoff spot and taking no prisoners because nobody talks about my hockey team like that.
Oh, there
Matt,
you go.
Matt, just quickly, can I confirm, just from the nuances of your accent, I need to confirm, are you Albertan?
That is correct.
Are you an Edmonton or a Calgary fan?
Edmonton.
Yes, let's go, Matt. Oh, I want you to win this race now because I'm an Oilers fan as well. Very good. Oh, very good.
All right, let's drop him back in here. We're about to go.
Yeah, best of luck on your restart, Matt, and best of luck in the rest of this race.
All right, guys. Thanks for bringing me in. Have a good broadcast.
All right, man.
Thank you. Oh, I love finding Oilers fans in random races. Jim, you know this by now.
Yes.
Phenomenal. Had to deal with a Calgarian fan the other day in Kenton on the broadcast. That was not unbearable. Kenton was very lovely, actually. Oh, but restart time. How long do you think O'Connor can hold off Pericini for?
I think it's going to be tough, man. Fast, and he's up there on the front row. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. But I know that if you notice, McClendon's creeping up there in the background slowly, but
yeah, because he didn't need to take a pit stop on this caution, so he's actually gotten some free positions back across this through natural progression.
A stop here. Notice the little Emery team name. Jim said to put his team name.
Very good, Will. As we're back under green flag once again. Green flag in Illinois as we rocket round towards turn number 1. You can see Bassey's already found the inside line on Pericini. So it's not going to be easy for Matt to get the job done here on Bass, as the lone Canadian inside the top 10 has to try and find his way forward. But this battle looks to be on.
Yeah, the outside line here is... Oh, that's what I was afraid of.
Oh, bit of contact. Pericini. Round he goes off the road. That's a caution. There it is.
Okay, I don't think Matt's car got tore up. I was afraid of that. Tyler Bass was under...
I just noticed he rejoined the track, and I think someone's actually just put it in the wall trying to avoid him. I think they've kept going. I think it was Tex Nichols. It was. He's got a wheel that's broken. Yeah, he's got broken steering in that car. So just watch when Matt rejoins the track. So it wasn't Brad. So if you click on if you click on when Matt actually came back on track, you'll see Tex on the outside of the circuit. So this is when he rejoins. And you're going to see Tex come through. There he is there in the AMSOIL car. So Matt goes to rejoin. Tex takes evasive action a bit too hard and into the wall. So Matt may find himself in the naughty corner for that one, for pulling out right in front of another car.
Well, and that is admin and does race control. A lot of times don't pull.
I'm absolutely positive that he is definitely saying this. Please do not shun me for this, Matt. I'm sure he's saying sorry right now in his car.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Tex Nichols, they do have a faster pick. Tex hasn't yet. At least he'll be able to get back out there and hurt him too. But Tex is our series sponsor here. .com, and by the way, so talking about ex Nick. I hate to be talking about him, and are talking about. I'll point out his third customer program still going on. If that's and you'll get 5%.com and dollars plus a lot of different specials that runs and cons and text email and let him know that you're watching. Give you the oil changes, oats, got products for diesel trucks to ATV.
Just quickly as well, Jim, the lights on the pace car are out, so O'Connor and Bass are going to get ready to restart this race. I'd say if I was in the US and I needed oil, I'd be going straight to Nichols Pro Oil.
Pro.
That's for sure. Yeah, Nichols Oil Pro. Oh, you say oil like such a Texan, Jim.
I'm from Texas. Well, I'm from Louisiana, but I live in Texas. And
you're
oil,
really
is a serious business.
Oil, Jim.
Oil is a serious thing.
There you go. You're really pronouncing that R in oil there, Jim. No, I'm sure it's hidden. It's in the fine print.
All.
All. Pace car's in. We're about to go green flag once again. The 5th caution of this race. The 4th outside of the stage ending. As O'Connor is going to get us going again. I think, well, I said 5 cautions. Outside of stages, we're only 1 away from that. Tyler, completely wrong, said 3 to 4. Well, not completely wrong. We're on 4 at the moment. But if we go the next 60 or 50 laps, 52 laps without a caution, he will be correct in his assumption of 4 cautions.
And by the way, the
leaders run through.
Only one.
Another one. There's the 5th.
One stage break.
Kyle Dewey. Yeah, only 1 stage break. That was Kyle Dewey, who's off the road. He's just traversed back again, so it's just before the yellow flag was called, Jim, where he went off track.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. No worries.
By the way, I'm doing production tonight. Any of you that follow the series? Oh, yeah, he got a little help going on back there.
Yeah, that was a bit of a helping hand for sure. The dance partner that helped him off was who was it? I'm gonna run through the field and see if I can find who it was. It was Will Emmett. So the driver that we shouted at before by saying Jim said to put this here, or put something here, has just turned Kyle Dewey off the track as Will actually comes into the lane. So it might be a self-inflicted drive-through for Will, possibly. Or possibly a pit stop as well. Be sure to get into the chat, ladies and gentlemen, as well. Let us know of anyone you want us to keep an eye on throughout this race. And if you haven't already and you're new here to JPB Broadcasting or JP Broadcasting, be sure to hit the like button, to subscribe, the bell icon as well. We've got so much racing to come throughout the year of 2025 and throughout the month of February as well. Let's have a quick chat to... Oh, who do we want to have a chat to? Let's have a chat to Tyler, because he actually got the prediction wrong on the pace cars. Have a chat to him. Mr. Rulis, you said 3 to 4 pace cars. We've now had a 5th outside of the stage changeover. So what are you paying us for getting that incorrect in the chat earlier?
No comment.
Well, I mean, over-unders, I think you at least owe us $5 for that one, surely.
Hey, on the bright side, at least I got a wheel now.
This is true. You have now got a wheel. So, the Moser R5, how is it handling for you this race? You find yourself in the top 4 up 16 spots as well, so it's obviously doing something for you.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm doing up here, so I'm scared.
Well, we'll try not to make this too much of a nightmare for you, Tyler. We just thought we'd remind you of your 3 to 4 pace or 3 to 4 cautions and remind you that you were incorrect. So, but thank you for getting to the chat at the start of the show. Much appreciated. Best of luck throughout the rest of this race, and we'll see how long we go under green for the next section.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that luck. Thank you guys for having me.
No worries, thank you. So lights out on the pace car once again, Jim. It was only a short but sharp, pretty much one lap before we went under caution once again. Is this just gonna? Well, I'm now wrong as well. Oh no, I'm on wood for this one because I said 5, and the stage technically counts as a caution. So we're on 5 pace cars at this point.
Yes, the
I don't think either of us are going to be correct tonight, Jim. I'm going to be honest. I can feel a 6th crash causing pace car to come out on track at some point. I'll be honest.
well, if I'm being honest with you, track is getting difficulty than I thought. Seems to be a little slicker and a little harder for them to control cars than I thought.
Yeah, they are really struggling, and it's probably the challenges of the different types of corners that are on this oval. As O'Connor gets the green flag and gets us going once again. Lap 62 of 110, 48 laps to go here in Illinois, just across the Mississippi from St. Louis, Missouri. I was talking about hockey, St. Louis Blues.
Yes,
Not sure how they're doing this season. I need to have a look. Let's have a gander. Let's see how well how poorly the St. Louis Blues are doing this season, because I know the Oilers are doing quite well.
O'Connor's
coming to the lane. Wow.
got some kind of penalty. God, he was the.
Unless he needs to actually take a pit stop.
Oh, he was the caution.
True, he is driving through. Maybe he did he go before the green was actually called?
Maybe.
He might have. He may have very well done
Got a caution.
Yeah, we have got a caution. What has caused the caution? The
Matt
7th caution of this race. Yeah, Matt Harmon.
Oh.
What's happened to Matt? Oh, big stack. Big stack for Matt Harmon off the road. So that is not good. So I would say Tim's actually gone before the green flag was actually called. That's why he's copped a drive-through penalty from iRacing. Just to confirm, St. Louis Blues, 5th spot in the Central Division at the moment in the NHL, so not the best for them. They could do better, if you ask me. In comparison, since we are in Illinois, the Chicago Blackhawks are 8th in the Central Division. So St. Louis doing better than the actual local team of this circuit in Chicago.
There's nothing about where the track is.
No, it's not. This is straight up Missouri.
This is absolutely Missouri country, right?
Yeah.
Literally across the Great Mississippi. Missouri. Yeah, there's nothing Chicago about Illinois.
No. Oh, since we're under caution once again, Jim, we're going to get probably a lap or two under this pace car. We're a week away from Super Bowl Sunday. What's your prediction for the Super Bowl?
Oh, I think Kansas City going to win it, and I think Travis Kelce, tight end, going to propose Taylor Swift after the.
So, if you recall back to 2024 Super Bowl, Jim, that's what everyone was saying as well. They said that Travis Kelce would propose to Taylor Swift at the end of the 2024 Super Bowl.
Well, I'm going with it again.
I personally would like the Philadelphia Eagles to win.
So would I actually. So would I. I have a very good friend who's a fan, and I like the fact that running back Shaquille Barkley, Giants kind of let him go, paid him. He's going. That's just about as perfect. Old go shop elsewhere.
Well, unfortunately for me, the team that I like to follow in the NFL, I don't watch it that often. I literally just watch the Super Bowl. But the team I'd like to be there apparently never wants to get there, and that's the Arizona Cardinals. So, fun times for me. But I thought, another bird team is there in the Eagles. And plus, the Chiefs have won enough rings at this point. Give it to Philadelphia. Philadelphia needs something to keep them going at this
Won a
point.
Super
Like,
Bowl a few years ago.
I know, but last year the Chiefs won. How many Super Bowls have the Chiefs won in like the last 10 years, Jim? Isn't it like
Several.
4 Super Bowls? Yeah, it's several. Like, Philadelphia's won one in the last 10 years. They could win another one. Come on.
It's I'm actually good. I don't have a dog, right? So
No.
I
was hopeful that the Detroit Lions would actually make the Super Bowl, if I'm honest. I was hopeful that they would make it this year.
been a while for us not heading in the direction of.
Well, there is one thing that I know. Matt Perricini will be happy about this. The the Edmonton Oilers are looking like they could make another Stanley Cup final this year, which I'm hopeful for. So, but for Perricini as well, even after the contact earlier in the race, Jim, and finding himself back in pit road, he's back up on the front row and back into P2, right in behind Ty Bass. So hopefully on this restart as we go green, he can have a cleaner getaway and not end up back down pit road for Perricini, who's under pressure from Bradley and gets it past him into turn 1. But Bass had a hell of a getaway in the Miller Mustang at the front of the field as we rocket round for lap 67. So 67 of 110. We've got 43 laps, 43 laps left to run. For Perricini, he is in the hot seat to possibly take himself a win here tonight for round 5.
Tyler Bass is up the front there. And the strong up there.
Oh, I've just seen in the background, Jim, we've got another caution.
Yep.
It's Matt Harmon again. Yeah, he's off the road at the entry to pit road. He ended up backing off the circuit. So a second caution in the span of 2 laps has been caused by Matt Harmon getting off the road. Oh, change of lane mid-corner. That's not a smart choice.
By the way, I would like to point out that Matt Harmon might have the best sponsor in iRacing, Cunningham Tire. Has nothing to do with my name.
Oh, well. No.
Yeah, it's unusual again. Matt Harmon's a good driver, man. The track is giving these guys fits tonight.
It is.
It really is.
And again, I think it's coming down to the shape of the circuit, Jim, if I'm honest. That real squished out balloon look of the track is really getting to them tonight.
But that's possible. But there are a few tracks around NASCAR that are shaped like it's not completely uncommon. I normally get out and drive 20, 30 laps track, and I can talk about what I felt out there tonight. But I did not get to production trying to figure. Well, I was getting help from you to try to figure all this stuff out, and I did not get my laps in tonight, and I'm really regretting that I didn't do that.
You'll learn soon enough, Jim. The more you produce, that you'll work around your production times, and you'll actually practice earlier in the week if you wish to learn a circuit or how drivers are actually having to handle a track prior to a race. But it's okay. It's I think oval racing, and I think we're feeling the intensity of it a little bit because obviously we both have driven on iRacing, so we can understand what it is like to actually get into a crash. Real life NASCAR, you don't really get the semblance of speed unless you're at the track, and you don't actually understand how intense the racing can be unless you've been to a race, because of you feel the speed of the car, you feel the whole field driving past you at the spot where you may be sitting, and I can understand why some people watching on TV at home for an actual NASCAR event, they might think, oh, it could be a little bit boring, or where are the crashes and stuff like that. But and I know, I've never been to a NASCAR race, but I know it would be so much more enjoyable watching it in real life. And I think it's probably the only racing series, aside from maybe IndyCar or oval racing in general, is probably the only racing style where it is better to watch it at the track than it would be at home.
Well, it's all in front of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Opposed to road racing, you pick a turn, or if you're lucky, you spot where you can maybe to it.
Yeah.
When it comes to NASCAR racing, it's all right there in front of you. I think a lot of people NASCAR racing, it's easy. Turn left. You guys turn left multiple times every. And the fact that they are having a hard time keeping cars on track should give you some indication of how hard it is to do. There are people out there, and I'm sure that probably wouldn't be watching this, and it did feel it. I promise you, get out there in one of the cars, one of these tougher tracks like, it's easy to go around Daytona when there's cars on the track. Have a hard time making a lap without spinning the car out.
We're back under green flag, Jim, and this time it was a single file restart, no double file restart for this one. They're probably hoping to not cause another caution straight away.
I believe that is a lead. Have two cautions back to back like that, and they jump into file for exactly that. Actually, the first time since I've been commentating this league that's happened. I'm really shocked by the level of cautions tonight.
Do we think we get to double digits? We're under caution once again. It's Tyler Rulis this time. So Tyler, who was running up the front of the field, has managed to get into another incident, have our 9th caution of the race, the 8th one that has been caused by a crash on circuit. We've only had one from the stage changeover at lap 40. So we're under caution once again. Downforce game we didn't know N64 was able to be broadcast. Oh, I thought you might be able to be a little bit more creative with your chats there. I didn't know you were so low quality on that one there, Downforce Gaming. But Piracini's also in the lane too, as well as Bass. So the top two in the race have now come into pit road. Sean Bradley is now the effective leader of this race because he's just at the front of the field behind the pace car.
That's Matt Parasini behind him.
Yeah, it is. Benson in as well. Jackson, Herzog, O'Connor, Slaughter, Nichols, Harmon, Dickens, Bogan. So this might actually be a bit of a misplay from Bradley because the last time he came down pit road was lap 37, which was before the stage changeover, Jim. So he's gone a long while on this tank of fuel, 36 laps on this tank. So he's gone nearly as long as his last stint in this race.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. These guys that are pitting now are not going to pit and happen to catch a really late caution and attempt to.
We'll take some tires or
just,
something.
No,
maybe,
well,
maybe
if they've
some
got a
left-hand
set,
side
but
tires.
this is Matt Parasini was talking to, dropped it in conversation. I don't know if you caught it or not, but he said that he was going to be able to stop. Stopped right. That means he can. Oh, his plan is now not pit again.
Yeah.
Like I said, 8 pops up and maybe he comes in if he's got one set of tires left. The amount of times he's not.
He may not. Let's have a quick chat to Sean Bradley because he's the only one to do one run down pit road this race. Currently leads the race behind the pace car. Sean, you've only come down pit road one time tonight on lap 37. You're about to tick over to 37 laps on this stint of the race as well, but with about twice as many cautions this time. What's the thought process? Are you waiting for another caution to come in for the final stop of the run, or is it just hold on as long as possible and then come in at the very last second?
No, I'll probably come in if there's another caution. I'll come in that one. But I really just wanted to hit lap 80 before I was coming in. But I just saw a couple of guys, the leader and Matt, go in. So
I've got. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're about to go to green, Sean. We'll chat to you a bit after. Once again, we'll see how you go throughout this stint. But hopefully you can get a little bit of green running before the next caution because we don't really want to have this stop-start action, and I'm sure you guys don't either inside the car.
yeah, I certainly hope so too. I got to go to work tomorrow morning. So
All right, Sean. Best of luck on the restart.
cheers.
I love Sean's paint scheme. Duff beer.
Yeah, and he's running Barney as his Discord icon as well. So definitely on brand for Sean Bradley at the front of the field. He's got Hendricks in behind, Kress as well, Creedler, McClendon, the top 5. Green flag once again, another single file restart. Can we go a full lap without the yellow coming out here in Illinois as we run through turn number 1? It's amazing how a race can progress like this, Jim. We get so far with long periods without yellow flags, and then all of a sudden, bang, 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 one after another, yellow flag, yellow flag, yellow flag, and we go a good 10 to 15 laps under pace car. I look forward to seeing what the rundown's going to be next week, but I assume it's going to be the unholy 9th or 9 cautions in a race. Could we get the double digit of 10? If we get another caution, we will go to 10 that have been caused by crashes, 1 being caused by the stage changeover.
Interesting. There. Oh, yeah. Right
He's
up on.
flying in that Camry. Absolutely flying in the Camry. We've got 4 drivers out of this race at this stage. Brad Dalton, Benito Chavez, Mike Weeder, and Tyler Merritt. Morris Bogan is back in pit lane. He's been in there for, well, the last 12 minutes, so he's obviously used his fast repair already. We've got another caution, and it's Jeff Slaughter in the KFC car. He has now towed back to pit lane. That might be night done and dusted for him. And, well, he might have to go find himself a family bucket, possibly, Jim, because he will, well, again, I said it earlier, not finger-licking good for Jeff Slaughter tonight.
Yeah, that's oh my goodness.
Oh, that was a wild one in the 88 car.
That had equipment. That had
Let's watch it back again. Let's go cockpit and watch it back again, Jim.
Crazy.
So let's watch this. So if it's an equipment failure, the steering should go hard right.
Oh,
No, it's not.
No,
he just got a slide and he tried to catch it and overcorrected.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man.
So one thing to know as well, Jim, normally with hardware failures, the wheel, for whatever reason, however I've seen it, it never turns hard right. It always turns hard left.
Oh.
So if it's an equipment failure, the wheel will turn hard left and the car should veer left off the road. I'm going to assume it's because, obviously, iRacing's an American brand. They know that ovals is a big thing. I'm going to assume it's an automatic feature in iRacing, so then the car actually goes off track and doesn't cause a big stack if it goes. Because obviously, if it goes right into the wall,
yeah,
and there's cars behind them, they're gonna hit him. Where if it goes left, it's at least gonna go onto the grass and go into the infield.
So yeah, and so here, interesting right here. Who's back leading?
Who's back at the front? Yeah, back at the front.
Steve McClendon. Now I told you when races, he won one earlier this season. Strategy's good. He's run at the end. Hit it on lap 6. And he's fast. Got Will Emmerich up there, who got in a little trouble earlier after I pointed out that he put something there, car title. But yeah, he's back up there.
Yeah.
Also pit 5, so they got some guys back there with fresher tires than him. Several guys behind him pitted. Back than that, you got.
Yeah, we've had a confirmation from Jeff that, yeah, he got loose, the car snapped, she blown up, and he's already used his fast repair in this race. So that's night done and dusted for Jeff Slaughter. Jeff, go get yourself a family bucket, sit back, relax, and watch the rest of this race.
Have a couple of beers or something.
Yeah, you might need it. I mean, that's absolute heartbreak.
But I do want to thank you, Jeff, if you running those big double 8s for me. Mine is a bat, and I can't see that little 8, so that big 8 on there. Gonna work out for you. Inside
and
joke.
one little stat as well I've found, Jim. We've lost half of our Canadians in this race. We started with 4, we're down to 2. That's Sean Bradley and Matt Piracini.
Aren't we?
Yeah. So,
that's
we're gonna go green this lap though, Jim. The lights are out on the pace car, and McClendon is back at the front of the field for the next restart of this race.
We have not talked about all night. This now is Matt Herzog, very fast driver at front towards.
Yep, back up the front, up 16 places. Green flag for McClendon and the rest of the field. Can we go? Can we go at least 2 laps without a caution this time by? We've hit double digits without the stage changeover. We're on 9. So the next caution that happens due to a crash, that'll be the real double-digit cautions that we've had. And I don't know, Jim, I don't know what your knowledge retention is like in terms of stats like this, I have got no idea the last time these guys would have had a double-digit caution race.
Well, I don't know if we were double digit or not, but the first race of the at iRacing, a
Oh, yeah.
fictitious track, and
Yeah.
it was that race didn't really count for these guys. It was kind of a thing, and there was a bunch of cautions at that crazy event. I don't know that would count. And I'm not sure we got the double. Might have got close. Yeah, this is very surprising to me. Usually, I'm usually over out of caution. I'm in my predictions.
I would say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, Jeff's in the chat. He's driven it. Is this just the Long Beach of ovals? Like, are we just like running Martinsville at high speed? Yeah. Well, yeah, just like Friday, Jim, running
Martinsville. What? Who
Not
won
Martinsville.
You know anybody that won Martinsville?
Who won Martinsville? Oh, yeah, that's right. James won Martinsville.
No,
But
well,
yeah,
see,
it's like,
he's got a point though. For the NASCAR guys, Martinsville, one of the caution after caution after caution. That race that James did win was a special event thing, and that race lasted 4.5 hours.
Wow, it's good to see that James has got some endurance about him then.
I see that he was running VR and he couldn't hold his head up for a couple days after.
Oh, I'm sure he couldn't. Yep, that's when you need triples at that point,
right,
if you're running for a long period of time. But McClendon's had a great restart to this race, and I've got my prayers, Jim. We've gone 2 laps and no caution, so not to jinx it or anything, but we've had probably the longest green flag run we've had in about 20 laps.
Have you ever heard of the commentator thing? Stop it.
Yeah, the old commentator's curse. I love curses, Jim.
Well, hey, we got
phenomenal.
Got Mark Herzog here, second place now, running California in and out livery. Mark is from California. An out burger. You probably don't know.
Oh, I'm sure he's hopeful to get a double animal style here this evening, Jim.
There you go.
Yeah. I even know what Whataburger is, Jim, as well.
Yeah, we have.
And Shake Shack as well.
One of those right down the road as well.
Yeah. I'm sure Matt Pericini hopes to go to Tim Hortons later, get himself a double. Maybe even, maybe a honey dip at some point as well. Yeah, don't underestimate my knowledge of nice little inside references to the US and Canada, Jim. I've done my time of investing time into researching these things.
I see that.
Yeah.
I'm rather surprised.
Yeah, I'm actually disappointed. Speaking of Jeff Slaughter, who obviously was off the road, so not to pick on you, Jim, but for KFC, I'm very disappointed. We have never gotten the Nashville hot chicken from KFC in Australia, and I want to try it so bad because it looks amazing.
Very, I don't know how it could kind of vinegary. Good, I like it, but not everybody's cup of tea. Tell you what. Now to a little over a 1-second gap already.
Yeah, he started a gap, Herzog. We've had Jeff comment the most Canadian comment I've ever heard in my life. I will read it in a Canadian accent, Jim. Gonna order a Timmy's double and a 50-pack of Timbits, bud.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord. Go down and watch the hockey game. See the Oilers play the Jets later. Oh,
well,
absolutely fun. I haven't done a Canadian accent in a long time.
Got Ty Bass back up here and running right behind Mark Herzog.
Oh, and if you look in the background as well, Piracini, speaking of Canadians, is starting to just drip feed his way through the field. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. But yeah, Piracini is he's just drip feeding himself positions at the moment. I mean, we've got 23 to go. I'm hopeful at this stage we're good for green flag for a little bit now, Jim, because they've gotten back into their groove.
Stop that. They're
starting to move forward. The safety, the cautions are just starting to get to us at this point. The brain's starting to go a little bit. No, not the Leafs, Jeff, not the Leafs. No, Austin Matthews and the Leafs. Can you tell, Jim, that I've had 2 energy drinks already this morning?
Yes, you.
and it's mid-afternoon already.
Been waiting to run this backstretch cam all night, and I keep
Oh, well, now we've got it.
along.
Oh, one of my favorite cameras
love
you
it.
can have on an oval
Love
or
that.
a roval. It's phenomenal. Daytona's got a great one as they come round up towards the bus stop. So it's as they come round the second part of the first part of the bowl on the lap, and they exit, and it comes down the back straight towards the bus stop. Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah, those are great cameras.
Herzog and Basso, these guys having a good little tussle between them at the
They
moment.
are indeed.
And I must say, In and Out and Miller Draft, probably a great combination on a Sunday night, Jim. Just head down to In and Out, get a double, have some Millers in the fridge. Great time.
Can't go wrong there.
You really can't.
A couple of
Oh,
cheeseburgers, old ones, all good.
right in the refrigerator. It's a great time. Jeff, I promise you, this is only the tip of the iceberg of my Canadian culture. Don't even get me started on poutine. I love poutine. It's fantastic. But Herzog, though, is under pressure from Hendricks. Bit of a wiggle, though, through turn one. And he's dropping positions like it's nobody's business here, Jim. He's absolutely fumbled P2.
Yeah, it happens. This track, apparently, these cars get squirrely, and he's not outside now. That is not a fun place.
He's absolutely fumbled it, has Herzog, but now he's under pressure from O'Connor, who led this race for quite a few laps, and as well from Piracini, who started on pole and has had the pace over the whole field this whole race as well.
Off the wall there.
Piracini trying to get it past Timothy O'Connor.
Oh!
Midline now for Piracini. Don't be... he might actually get this done, Jim, because the midline seems to be the preferred line of turn 2, but the low line is better at 1, so O'Connor should have the benefit now through 1. But if Piracini can hang on his outside, he should be good to run past him off the exit of turn 2.
Oh, no.
Oh, wash out.
I'll tell you what, Matt moved up there and let him come out. That could have been a little collision right there.
That could have been a horrible wreck. They're now under pressure as well from Brad Press in the Amazon Prime machine. Big hop. That was a massive checkup. And in the walls, the 57. That's a big caution, Jim. Massive caution caused by Herzog. That is the double digits that we were waiting for. 17 to go.
That a checkup by him or that a?
I think it was. Oh, massive checkup. And then there was a little touch, I think. Oh my God. I have a feeling that O'Connor's been checked up by Herzog, giving him a slight tap on the rear. That's unsettled him and then pulled him out right across the 119. Let's watch this again. Watch for the tap at the front of the car. There it is, little tap, unsettled in the 57. Can't catch it and bang, straight in front of him.
Yeah, I don't think, I don't know if Herzog checked up there or if Connor drove it in too deep there and didn't get on his brakes.
He very well might have. I've just noticed something as well, Jim, whilst we're on replay. Piracini has stayed out. The majority of the field has come in. So Piracini leads this race. He's willing to stay on these tyres. Jared Jackson's actually gone ahead of him, so he might have overtaken him when the yellow was called, so he's giving him back the lead. But McClendon, Kress, that being Brad, Creedler, Emmett, Crutchley, Dewey, Bass, Benson, Hendricks, O'Connor, Herzog, all in pit road. Nichols, Rulis, Harmon, Bradley, Dickens, Piracini, and Jackson, front of the field. They can all make it home, and they're willing to go for it with 16 to go. Yeah, I think that's definitely different breaking points at that point. Like,
I got caught up in the fact that the track happened.
Oh, very, very easy to do. Very, very easy to do. It's you'll see Timothy O'Connor crashed Mark just after the yellow flag's called. Yeah.
And
A million things happening. Yeah, people going through pit lane, people entering their pit bay. Unbelievable
I
stuff.
think put this on the chopper one more time and let's like Herzog slowed too much, or if it looked like O'Connor.
Yes, he slowed a bit. O'Connor wasn't prepared for him to slow at that point. Oh, that's huge. Jim, if you go to your replay thing, same camera. If you go to your replay section and click on the 1/4. Oh no, we're going to go green, Jim. So we'll come back to this afterwards. So we'll go back to live because we're going green. And let's sit with Jared Jackson and Matt Piracini at the front of the field because these guys are about to get on restart. I just click on Matt Piracini because Herzog's coming out of the lane. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, you're okay.
Sorry, guys.
That's
I'm learning.
all good. That's all good.
Well, these guys know me. Watch every commentate. Yeah,
Could
Matt?
not have picked. If I had thought of the most NASCAR commentator for JP Broadcasting, Jim, your name would be the first on my list, I must say. So,
I don't know about that. I love the sport and I stand it.
Oh no, I'm literally basing this on stereotypes of your accent, Jim. Like that is the sole reason I'm thinking about it. To be honest with you,
we can get it a lot more southern if we do.
We can go real southern, Jim. We can push the limits on this one as we go green flag racing once again. Jared Jackson, front of the field. I won't do that.
It's insulting if you do it. I'm from the South. I can get away with it.
I'm from the south. Hang on. I'm from the southern part of Australia, Jim. I'm technically southern, so big check up there from Jackson. Paracini in the wall. Big one happens again. Another caution. An 11th caution in this race due to a crash. A 12th overall. And that right there is race done and dusted for Matt Piracini, who is towed back to pit lane. And it's been completely thrown on its head. And look who is at the front of the field, Jim. The man who caused 2 cautions in the span of 2 laps in that 20-lap period of yellows. Matt Harmon will lead this race off the restart. Incredible stuff.
Wow, man. That's you have it all set up for yourself there. Strategy out, like back up there. Laps to go in this race.
It was the slightest knock.
Yeah, just
a little bit of drifting between both of them. That little kiss on the rear end of the car just left it unsettled, and well, up in flames goes Matt Piracini's race, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's unfortunately several of them caught up in that.
They did. So interestingly enough as well, Jim. So the drivers who've been in the wars tonight, Matt Harmon caused 2 cautions.
Yeah.
Tyler Rulis had an issue, caused a caution. Tex Nichols caused a caution. All 3 of those guys in the top 5.
Oh, Tex. Gosh. Tex is he's not the fastest guy in the series. And this.
One
Tex,
driver, I think,
12
as well.
to go.
Great job. That's a great job from Tex. One driver I saw got caught up in that moment and held up. Steve McClendon was held up in that. He's actually still back in P14. He didn't get hit, but he was caught up by having to go slow. So he's now further back in the field. 12 to go, Jim. Could get another caution in that period, but it's anyone's game, arguably, left on the road and on the lead lap.
What you got to look at here, top 5 guys out there right now, top 4 on older tires. And the first guy is Ty Bass, lap 94. I'm assuming he got fresh tires, or he and just had fuel. Everybody back from him back, like, has got fresh tires.
Well, we're going to go green on the next lap, Jim, it seems. Quick predictions for race win. I'm going to say Davey Hendricks.
Oh, man. Fast. Man, I don't even. I really don't have one. Matt Harmon's fast, but he struggled with the car tonight. But Matt Harmon's a fast driver, man.
Brian Dickens has been very quiet all night. Bit of a quiet achiever out on track. He may have but he has 5 lap older tires than the 3 cars around him. Bass and Hendricks, they're the top 2 seeded cars on the freshest set of tires of 94 out of this top 10. Oh, this could be spicy.
There's some
We're gonna have 10 to go when we go green. This is it's anyone's game. Anyone's game at this point.
Fast drivers back there. Kyle Dewey, Brad Kress, a lot of fast guys back there with tires.
Do we think that John Creedler is down to one last breath at this point, Jim?
Probably. But you know what? With 11 laps to go,
that's all you need.
breath, right?
That's it. One last breath.
Out of turn.
One last run. Turn 4. Up towards the start-finish line. Past pit road. Green flag running once again. 10 laps to go for Matt Harmon. Can he become a race winner here tonight, or will Dickens look to spoil the party? Rullis and Nichols, they want to be up there, but Bass is already taking advantage further back with the fresh tyres. He's already made his way past Nichols off the restart as Hendricks looks to follow him through as well. These guys are going to be strong towards the end, Jim. It may not be too long before they're the top 2 on the road.
Yeah, I got to pull in for that Cunningham tires. Out front,
Are you going to claim that you're winning the race, Jim, if that happens?
I may take snapshots and send to my friends.
Oh, another caution. It's John Creedler.
Oh,
Big moment in the Spotify car. Oh, and Bass is in the wall too.
Oh.
Bass's day is done, as is Ruleless. So we got to get some replays happening on this one, Jim, for sure. So it all started with this moment here for Harmons. There was a big move. He ends up going off the road. Avoids it. So, no, that was the earlier one in the race. That was the earlier one. Yeah, just scroll down. It's all good. Scroll down to the very
There's so
bottom.
many of them.
That's okay.
I've never seen this much red. Oh.
That's the same one. Just pull all the just scroll it all the way to the bottom. There we go. There we go.
Oh, let's see. That's time.
Yeah. So it all started with John Creedler. So there's Creedler off the road down there, and then
he was entering pit lane, but that was actually him spinning into.
Yeah. So it started with Creedler. That's what brought out the yellow, and then it was Bass and Ruleless that then had a moment once the yellow was called. Oh, big moment. Nichols was caught up in it too.
Yeah, and so was like the Skittles car there. That
yeah, Hendricks is in.
Dickens, Hendricks.
Yeah.
So many.
They did. So Davey Hendricks into pit road after that contact. So there goes my prediction of him winning the race. He is out at this point of race winning position.
Angles. Oh,
he actually just sent him.
Yeah, Tyler, Ty Bass checked up there. Yeah, he just lasted behind.
And unfortunately for Hendricks, he thought he was in a safe position, but then it was when Bass's car came back up onto the high line, that was when he was in danger. So that's unfortunate there for Hendricks. It has been an absolute chaotic end to this race. The last half of this race, so much more chaotic than the first half. So nearly 3 times, or more than 3 times the amount of cautions we had in the first section of this race before the stage ending. Ever since then, this has been incredible. Wow.
Man, I don't even know what to say after that.
So, and I know we haven't had any drivers come in during these cautions, but it's because, we've only got so long to go.
Yeah, no, there's nobody coming. God damn it, they're not coming in now.
Yeah, Got
Harmon still out front. And Kress is now up to third with fresh tires.
Dewey's in P4. O'Connor's back in this thing as well. Remember, previously led the race. 6 to go. It's full intensity. It's going to be 5 to go when we go green. We'd hate to. This is going to be intensity at its finest. At this point, any of them can win. Harmon has to perfect this getaway off the line, Jim. He has to get away clean, has to break away from Dickens, because he does not want to be pressure over these next 5 laps
Oh,
towards the checkered flag.
especially not with the older tires. He definitely needs to fight it out behind him a little.
Yep. Luckily for him, Dickens, 5-lap older tires than Harmon at the front of the field, but everyone behind them came in on lap 94 or 97 or 98. So these guys have got 20 lap at a minimum older tires than the rest of the field. 5 laps to go. The pace car's going to come in. Harmon needs to perfect the restart on the green flag. Cannot jump the green, otherwise he'll be like O'Connor early in the race, rolling through pit road. And now it's crunch time. 5 to go. Green flag racing in Illinois as Harmon gets underway once again. Dickens is going to try and follow him through 1. How much more carnage can we get in this race? 12 cautions and a 13th for the stage changeover as well. As Harmon leads them down the road. 13 cars are left on the lead lap of this race, Jim.
This is,
As Nichols has gone off the road in the background, but he's still rolling.
hope that doesn't.
I don't think it is. He's still going. He hasn't turned around, so still facing the right way. But Cress looks for a moment and a move on Dickens. Bit of contact through 1. That's going to be another caution. Dickens is out.
Big.
4 to go. I'm going to assume, Jim, you can correct me if I'm wrong, we can't ever end on caution. They'd always add an extra lap, wouldn't they?
They do have a green-white check finish, I believe.
Yep.
1.
Okay. So we're 4 to go. We're going to be under pace car for at least 2 laps. This is playing into the hands of Harmon, though. This is playing into his hands. Because it's taking pressure off him. We're cutting down the laps every time we're under caution, and it's getting him closer and closer to not only the checkered, but it's getting him less laps that he actually has to defend the lead for, Jim.
Yes.
So this is going to be crazy. 13th caution of this race to happen from a crash. We had a 14th from when the stage ended at lap 40. This is absolutely insane. This is oval racing at its finest. You are getting every little piece that you could ever hope for out of an oval race tonight, Jim. And a multitude of crashes, a multitude of lead changes, anyone's game. And right now, Matt Harmon, who has got the oldest tires on the road, and if you looked back 60 laps ago when he caused 2 cautions himself, you would have thought there's no way this guy could win. Right now, he is in the hot seat to take a victory tonight in Illinois.
Yeah, that's incredible. He does have now Brad Kress is right behind him now. Fresher tire. They've gotten a little
machine.
Got a little scrub in on them now. Yeah, in the bait. It's better than the car livery he running the Valvoline livery in Texas. NicholsOilPro.com.
Yeah, that's not the best choice of
brought to us by AMSOIL. No, we definitely run prime livery now. We got Tim O'Connor's having a night.
And the X
Kyle Dewey.
car.
We haven't talked about Kyle Dewey a lot tonight, but except for a couple little incidents involved in here in 4th place. Garrett Jackson, talking about him early. Now he's crawling back into 5th place again, and he was involved in some stuff early. Sean Bradley, we had written him off earlier. He was here in the lead, got into some trouble, got into a wreck, and here he is.
McClendon too is right there.
Steve McClendon back up to 7th. Got I mean you got Davey Hendricks back here. I know he's far back for 3 laps. He does have fresh tires on that car.
So Jim, we're guaranteed to have 3 laps to go.
Yes.
Being that it's green flag checkered. when we cross the line, it'll be 2 laps to go once we're under green.
Yes,
And we only get one of those. So if we get a yellow again, it will end under the pace car.
that's correct.
And Matt Harmon will win. For him, I mean, if I was in his position, I'd be hoping we get a caution, because then he's guaranteed the win. As a viewer, we want this to be green flag to the end.
Sure,
We want this to make the end. We don't want it to end at a pace car. It's the worst way we could ever possibly have it end. For Matt Harmon, it's the best way it could ever end because then he gets a free win.
Well, I wouldn't say it was free. He's been through a lot tonight.
No, he has.
And everybody
He
in his
has.
field has. They've had a long race, longer races I've ever done with them.
So green flag running, 2 laps to go. As we cross the line, Matt Harmon will be umming and ahhing. Does he want a caution to get the win, or will he want to race it all the way to the end?
Not a lot of cars left on track.
Only 14 cars left on the lead lap, and they're all on track. So we've lost 10 cars in the span of this race. Kress is going to put the pressure on him. Oh, he's run it wide. Those old tyres are costing him. Brad Kress up the inside of the final corner. Side by side. 1 to go, Jim. One more lap to go. They're biffing and barging. White flag. O'Connor's up there too.
Yeah, Harmon put it in the wall there. That's going to pull him up. It's going to be tough for him back now with the tires.
Oh, here comes O'Connor. Inside line on Kress. 1 corner to go. Are we going to get there under green flag? No caution just yet. O'Connor, Kress, side by side, final corner. Tim O'Connor, who led the race earlier tonight, had to come in for a penalty from jumping the green, is going to come across the line in Illinois in P1 on the road in the 119. Kress and Harmon on the podium. Dewey and Jackson, your top 5. McClendon comes home P6. Bradley comes home the sole Canadian in the field in P7. Hendricks, Emmett, and Crutchley, your top 10. Herzig, Benson, Dickens, and Creedler, the only other cars left to finish the race.
Wow, that was an exciting finish. Unfortunately for Harmon there, those old tires got him. He slid up a little bit track and got away from him there. Still ended up with a nice 3rd place finish out of it, which I'm not happy with. Circumstance.
Well, let's have a quick chat to him. P3 on the road had the lead, but the old tires, unfortunately, being a little bit of a downside. Matt Harmon, you led the way. You would have wanted the caution on the last lap for sure, because that would have given you the win. But P3 on the road on old tires. Oh, how much were you sweating on those restarts?
I could have done with 1 less restart, and the race ended under that last caution, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, we were umming and ahhing about whether you would prefer it to be under caution, and I'm like, well, if I'm him, I want to end it under caution because that's a win. But there's also that little bit in you that says I want to race to the win at this point. But it's always a bit of Sophie's choice, isn't it? Deciding how badly do I want the win? Do I want it that I win it under caution, or do I want to win it under green and really win the race?
Yeah, I would have loved to have the win, so I could have punched my ticket to the playoffs there. But the racer inside of me wanted to see it go green. So,
Hey, Matt, it's Jim Cunningham.
what's up, Jim?
Hey, man, good to talk to you. I'm sure you did want to win that. Obviously, I was pulling for you, running my tire livery. But I tell you, with the night you had early, looked like the hard keeping your end under that thing early on, and I was surprised and happy for you that you were back up there at the front, given the way the earlier part of the night it went. I know you got to be at least happy that you're able to recover from that.
Oh yeah, the way the race was starting, I was lucky to just finish, and then there at the end, a couple cautions helped me out, got me to the front, got me some track position, and I was able to at least hold those guys back for a little bit. Each one of those guys, Brad, Timothy, all of them, they're super fast each week, and I'm just lucky to be up there and be in the same atmosphere as those guys tonight.
Anybody want to shout out to?
I always shout out to you guys for putting on a good broadcast for us, even though this one was a little bit of a caution fest. So we apologize for that. Then
Man, tough
shout out
out
to
there.
Tex for
Tex had a bad. Tex was up there with 12 to go. Tex was at 4th or 5th. I was so happy for him, and fortunately, it didn't work out for him. Man, I was so glad to see.
Yeah, it was an unusual top 5 there for, I think it was that next to last or the one before that caution there at the end. Had Tyler Rulieris, or however you say his last name, Tex. So we had a very unusual top 5 going into the last stint there.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, congratulations for covering rough start there. Brought home a fun set too.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And like I said, thank you for always putting on a good broadcast, and thanks to the admin for putting on this season for us.
All right, buddy. Talking to you. I'll see you next week.
See y'all next week.
Next up, Jim, we have our P2 in Brad Kress, who is in lounge number 3. Let's drag him in and have a quick chat to him. Brad, P2 on the road, nearly made it P1, but Tyler just snuck up your inside on that final lap there. What was the intensity like in the car? Because it was pretty intense from our end. I mean, trying to get past Matt on the old tyres, trying to defend against Tim in the end, but a bit of washout on the wide line, and then he come up the inside. How does it feel, though, to get P2 on the road here this evening out in Illinois?
Brad?
I think we might have. Brad, are you there?
Oh.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Oh, there he is. There he is. All right. Yep. We got you now, Brad.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. The caution or two before that, I got some damage, and I don't know what it was. When I got beside of Harmon there at the end on the white flag, when I went off into one, it just wouldn't turn. I mean, it was just like a dump truck. I couldn't get it to stop going up the track, and that just opened up the bottom wide open for, I think it was O'Connor maybe behind me, and it just wouldn't turn. I don't know if it was the damage or I just drove it in too hard. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Same thing happened to Matt when you got under him. He drove it up, and you were able to get right on by him too. Same way. It's like that outside line. Once you get put on the outside there, didn't seem like it wanted to turn at all anymore.
No, once it got up past like the second groove, a groove and a half off the bottom, I hadn't ran up there. I don't think the entire race. I was running right around the bottom the entire race, and that's where I was comfortable at. But I wasn't expecting it to do that when I went off into one on the last lap.
Right. Well, I know if you watch these broadcasts back, you always know I always say the same thing about take care of your stuff. Fun at the end. Exactly that night. Second place finish. Like to have the win, but happy with that.
Yeah, to be honest, I would be happy with anything in the top 5 after the way it started, because I was running up at the front and I was kind of on the fence about coming down pit road before the stage break, but it was going to be really close on fuel. So I went ahead and came down, and as soon as I came on pit road, they closed pit road and I got penalized and had to go to the back. So I thought my race was over there. So I was just happy to be up at the front.
Yeah, well, the way it worked out tonight, sometimes that might not have been the place to be.
Yeah, seemed like it was pretty exciting there. So I was kind of glad to be away from all of it.
Right. That seems to be your style, That's what my interpretation of I've seen, season half that I've been doing, guys. But it's still a good finish for you. Anybody you want to shout out to?
Yeah, I want to shout out you guys for putting on a hell of a show. Like you said, I go back and watch them every week. I love them. You guys do an awesome job. Congratulations to, I think it's O'Connor that won the race there.
Yes.
He done exactly what he needed to do going into one, got underneath me, and he done a heck of a job. So congrats to him.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you. It's been a few weeks since we had you up here. Good to talk to you. See you next week.
All right, man. Sounds good. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks.
All right, Jim, next up we have our race winner in Timothy O'Connor. Let's drag him in for a quick chat. Mr. O'Connor, we saw you leading the race earlier on. You managed to, what we could only really assume was jump. Oh, he's gone. Let's drag him back. Are you good? Are you back, Tim? Have we got you?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Very good. We saw you leading the race earlier on tonight, and on one of the restarts, we thought you may have actually jumped the green, and then you ended up having a drive-through penalty. Can you confirm if that was true or not?
Yeah, that was accurate. Sped up just a little bit too early there and got a drive-through penalty.
Okay. Well, what was going through your mind over the, not just then, but also the midpoint of the race? Obviously, we had about 20 laps with a multitude of cautions. Went green for a period, and then the final few laps, we kept on getting caution after caution. What were the thought processes, not only at the midpoint of the race, but also in the latter half, where you're etching your way forward throughout these cautions? You're just trying to keep it clean and keep it safe. And how did that maybe change how you approached the battle with Matt and Brad towards the victory here in Illinois?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. I felt like it was a challenge every single lap to try to hit your marks. Race against different people that have different breaking points and things of that nature. It was definitely tough, but I was just trying to keep it clean and avoid wrecks. I did get into it a little bit with the 57 car, caused him to wreck, and I had to use my fast repair there towards the end. But it actually set me up better because I pitted, got new tires, and that helped me out, to be able to get the win.
Hey, Tim, this is, yeah, man. Yeah, it looked like it all worked out for you tonight with that strategy, being able to, in this crazy caution and being able to save your fast repair that late in the race. Had to be so many people earned them thing,
Yeah, 100%. I try to save it at all costs, unless I have some real bad damage. But luckily, I kept it clean till the end, and had it there when I got in a big wreck.
Yeah, that was, worked out great for you. Got alongside Brad. He sent it off into one there after he got by Armin, and he said, "Turn." It was like waiting on the bottom good all night. Right there, it just got turned and it plowed up like did right under it. Off. Yeah, that was how was your dragging the brake most of the night, or were you just lifting? How were y'all driving this track tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I was having to downshift into third, into 1 and 2. Get on the brakes pretty hard entering, and then downshift and kind of let it coast the rest of the way. And then into 3 was just kind of braking and downshifting into fourth, letting it kind of roll until I felt like it was turning good. I was really anticipating maybe having to knock one of those two guys up a little bit to get by them, but it felt like it was the easiest last 2 laps in my racing career, to be honest.
So you were having a 1 and 2, you said?
Shifted in both corners, but had
Okay.
to downshift into third in 1 and 2, and only downshift once in 3 and 4.
Did that cause you felt like that helped the car maybe get off the corner? Was that causing some problems for I think? You rev it up right there when you downshift. That seemed to make it a little did it help it turn right there?
Definitely helped it turn. It was a little bit more difficult off of 2 and 3rd gear because I felt like if you get on the gas a little bit too hard, it would just spin out. I think you saw a couple guys earlier in the race do that.
Bunch of guys. Yeah, in fact, the guy you were racing there, Matt Harmon, he had it happen to him twice early on in the back-to-back cautions, and at the end of the night up there, it just seemed like really, I'll say an oddball track, but it drives a lot different than a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. It takes a lot of patience and just consistently hitting your marks there, figuring out where's the best place to brake and downshift and all those things. And at the same time, like I said earlier, you're trying to anticipate where other people are braking at as well. So
Probably would have served a guy some good if they ran trucks in it. Trucks were here last week, this week, together. That might have helped some guys figure this track out a little bit. Everybody.
yeah, for sure. I don't have much experience here. I wasn't very comfortable. I think I've only ran maybe one or two races here, but it's been a while. I've been off the service for probably like 2 years, but I just came back about a month ago. So this is my first race at this track in quite some time.
Came back with a bang. Congratulations. Anybody you want to shout out to while we got you in here? Victory tonight. Punch your ticket to the playoffs too.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Just got to thank the guys at On Edge Racing that give me a lot of pointers and working together and things like that. So um, they're the one that got me in this league and enjoyed it so far.
Congratulations. See you next week.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
All right.
Well, Jim, that'll bring it in to our show here tonight for round 5 of the season. Do we know where we're racing next week for Triple Bypass?
Hey, honest, I don't know. Tell you what, not do. Bypass and out. Any of this race bypass. Sunday nights we do which is broadcast here. Tuesday night we got late models. Wednesday night we got dirt cars. Thursday night's Friday night is cars on road. A lot of fun, good guys. They all help each other out. So check bypass out. I do not know where we're at next week. But anyway, wherever we're at next week, exciting because
I do know on February 16th we'll be at Charlotte Motor Speedway for a future round of this series. So wherever.
off.
Oh, well then.
Possibly.
Yes, that might be it then. So the next circuit should be Charlotte, which is in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, yeah.
For Triple Bypass. So
I
that would
didn't-
explain why.
I didn't know if they were off, if they not, but that would make sense. Sunday
It
eve,
would.
probably the case. So
And then the week after, we have a road course, Jim. Road America on the 23rd of February. So that will be exceptional as well.
actually, I hope you get. That'd be fun.
It will be very, very good. But big thank you to you, Jim. You did well tonight under pressure in the production side of things. It was a great race. It was a caution-filled race as well. And if anyone's out there watching with us, be sure to hit the like button, to subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing here on JP Broadcasting with a heap of series through our broadcasting channel across the week and across the year and the month and the season of iRacing as well. Big thank you to the league for Triple Bypass. We'll be back in a few weeks' time. With a week off next week for the Super Bowl Sunday. We'll be back Sunday, February 16th, local time, Monday, February 17th for me, for Charlotte Motor Speedway in the next round of Triple Bypass. But until then, I've been Hamish Rondo, joined by Jim Cunningham alongside. Appreciate your time, appreciate you being here with us once again. But until next time, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.